All right, it is December 30th, and I just am getting so many questions and so many emails. I got to make a video lesson to answer everybody. The biggest winner today was WTW. Finished around 23, hit the 24-ish range, up from a bottom here. And if you look at my watch list from pre-market last night, I said WTW had a perfect afternoon breakout above the morning spike highs of 1890-ish. I bought it at 1905 with a goal of holding overnight. But since it was in the mid-19s before the market closed, nearly hitting my initial goals, I decided to play it safe and lock in roughly $1,000 in profits. Everybody and their mother are asking, how did I know this would bounce? And I also went on to say, this should spike 1, 2, or even $3 a share, but be careful. So in a sense, yes, I did expect a spike. Did I follow through with my own trade? No, because I'm always safety first. What you will learn is that my trades don't matter. And that is beautiful. It's very tough for some people to accept that because they're used to just judging traders by their own performance. But as a teacher, I'm judged by my students' performance. And I am proud that several students did better than me. And I'm proud that I have more millionaire students than anybody else. This is why the rumors are true. I am trading with just $12,000 in 2016. I was going to try and do $12,415, which were my initial roots. But I was just like, screw it. It's going to be a mathematical nightmare to calculate my percentage gains. So keeping it nice and simple with the bare basics. $10,000 with Interactive Brokers and $2,000 with E-Trade. Those are the only two brokers I will be trading with to start 2016. $2,000 is the minimum you need with E-Trade in order to short sell, and $10,000 is the minimum you need to open an Interactive Brokers account. Unless you're under the age of 26, then they have a loophole with $3,000. But I want to show you how to grow your account exponentially, trading safe, making mistakes, because a lot of people think that it's impossible to grow an account exponentially, despite the fact that several of my top students and I have proven that it is possible. You have to be reminded, because the vast majority of traders lie and lose, and it's very, very shady industry that we're in. And I'm not the most popular guy because I'm all about transparency, and I'm kind of a stickler for it. We've kicked people off profitably. We've banned them when they don't show all their trades. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's so tough to share all your trades. But that is why I am actually taking tomorrow off from trading, December 31st. It's my first day off where I will be able to trade, and I specifically will not do a trade. Not because there aren't any plays, but because I have to keep my accounts ready for January 1st with these balances. It was not easy. We'll still see if Interactive Brokers and E-Trade come through. I basically had to wire out like 95% of my money. And so they're both questioning it. But this is why I teach with a small account. And I'm very, very excited to start 2016. But right now I want to go over some lessons because it's not 2016 yet. So WTW, congrats to so many of you guys. I made nearly 50 cents a share. Not too bad, but obviously so many people did better than me. And that's awesome. I should bring up, you have 2 days, 48 hours roughly, to lock in these holiday sale prices, 45, 70% off, 50% off different DVDs, and 47, 54, 30, 49% off different newsletters. And I will link these DVDs and newsletters underneath this video, but please do not delay. Do not wait and miss out on these sale prices, because these are solid holiday sale prices for your education. And if you don't like me being so pushy with your education, too damn bad. That's why I have more millionaire students than anybody. It's not because I have more friends than anybody, okay? I'm not interested in being your friend. I'm interested in being your mentor and your guidance counselor and your drill sergeant. And no one likes their drill sergeant, but that's okay. I'm here to mold you and sculpt you and help you understand why it's okay to trade safe. A lot of people rip on me for selling WTW too soon. Boo fucking who. I still made nearly $1,000 and my commentary was dead on. That is what I love. Trading is not an exact science, but if you have the right idea, the right mindset, and the right mentality, you can make a lot of money. Let me show you. I talked about this during my live trading challenge webinar this morning, but let me just show you how I had an idea, not how I knew for sure, but how I had an idea that WTW had bottomed. So first off, what I talked about this morning, and I'm just going to rehash this because it's so important. There are four main indicators when trying to find a stock if it's bottomed or not. First off, it needs to be a recent runner. This stock was up from the 7s all the way to 27. So you have nearly a quadruple in just a few weeks. And if you remember, I had a pretty damn good buy alert here in the 12s, which I sold too early also. But it was a huge runner. So indicator number 1 is met. Indicator number 2, when you're trying to find a dip buy, where is the bottom? You want it to kind of be sideways. The past few days have kind of been sideways here at 18-ish. There's no real support at 18-ish, but it shows 18-ish. You can see here, it was grinding down pretty hard in the 20s, but then when it got to 18, it was almost like it put up a wall. Just because it put up a wall doesn't mean that the wall is going to hold. It could just be a temporary bottom. But indicator number 3 is you see this spike. So while it's downtrending, 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 you see this spike. So it still has some spikeability left in it. The spikeability DVD, I'm working on it every single day. It's going to be done probably in the next week. And it's going to be actually closer to 12 hours. It's only supposed to be a 6-hour DVD, but I keep finding more and more reasons to include different spikes, different breakouts, different dip buys. So when you see this initial spike on a former runner, and then it comes right back down, it should be on your watch list. And this has been on my watch list, to be fair, for several days as a potential buy. It actually made a new low right here. So you can't just buy it on the spike and just be like, oh, it's spiked, let me just hold. Because then you would put your stop loss at this low of 1784 and your stop loss would get taken out because it went down to the 1760s. So it's not a perfect bottom. The reason why I bought right here at 1905 is because it took out the day high. I like buying dips on the multi-day, multi-week chart, but it has to be breaking the day high and have a chance at having another one of these spikes. And the fourth indicator, the reason that I bought is because Oprah started tweeting about it and you started seeing ads based on Oprah hyping Weight Watchers. So this is kind of a pump. I don't know. I don't care if Oprah is actually going to turn this company around. What I do care about is that attention is going to spike the stock because it's a former runner. And I had no idea that it was going to go all the way to 24. Okay? I thought that at most, from my buy here at 19, it might get to 22, which it did. And I, again, sold too early. I'm not claiming credit that I held it for all of that. But my dead-on alert was there. And many students banked. I got to give props to you guys. Where were you? Let's see. This was my good morning tweet saying WTW was up nearly $1.50 a share. Charlie made 73% on his call option. But this one, the bearded trader, just a great guy in the chat room. And this is awesome. He scored $1,200 for his $3,500 account off WTW. Thanks again for yesterday's alert. In at 1932, out at 2350. This is a beautiful trade. And this is why I say I love my job. Because even when I don't sell perfectly, as I very rarely will ever do, my students, with the plan, with the guidance, with the indicators, with the knowledge, with the practice, with the studying, with the dedication, if you have all those, you can do better. And you'll see that my 4.3 million is not anywhere near best case scenario. What I've done in the penny stock world profit-wise is the tip of the iceberg. I really would not be surprised to see people like the bearded trader make 5 or 10 million in the next few years if they stick with it and understand that it's okay to be wrong and it's okay if you have the right mindset. I'll give you another example right here. OHGI, I tweeted this. So I actually bought this last week around 108, and OHGI really spiked today and came down still to the 120s, but I'm still up and I'm up 10, 20, 30, 40% on my position for my buys. Why did I buy it? Because of the January effect. There's a lot of short sellers who say, oh, this company's going to go bankrupt. They're going to zero. That's fine. Maybe they will. But in January, as short sellers will learn the hard way, these kinds of stocks can really spike. And we actually saw it today before, January even started. So I was on the right side of this trade. And a lot of my long-term newsletter subscribers are thanking me because they were like, oh my God, I didn't see this coming. How did you know? Watch my Tim Tactics DVD. Watch my Tim Raw DVD. You never know 100%. But if you're always thinking about the January effect with beaten down stocks that have spiked big in the past, guess what? You can be ahead of the curve too. Let me give props to somebody else. Victor Cruz. I wish that the real Victor Cruz of the New York Giants were as solid and steady as him. He shorted INVT at 208, covering at 182. Another student who did better than me. During my live webinar today, INVT, this is a recent pump. So this was pumped up due to blatant email promotions. So it was a potential short for me, but it spiked a little at the market open as there were more mailers today. So the question was, could it really spike, or was this just going to be a fake out? Well, we got a perfect double top right here at 222. So those of you who are in my live webinar, those of you who are Trading Challenge students, saw me trying to short this here at 213, 214, 211. And, I didn't know exactly where I got executed. E-Trade had shares to short, though. So there are people out there who claim that you can't short stocks under $5 a share. Wake the fuck up, okay? E-Trade had shares to short. Interactive Brokers has shares to short. And this was a great short all the way down to the 180s. I covered too soon. It wasn't tanking. I was trying to answer questions, so I was just like, screw it. And I made, I don't know, like 10 cents a share on my short. I made roughly $1,000 today. Again, it's not that great, but my students are doing better than me. Victor Cruz, congrats for having more patience. That's awesome. I like this. Charles Becco said this. Another big shout out to Tim for teaching me that shorting penny stocks are possible. I'm short INVT and am in the money. Yeah, it's amazing to me that people still don't believe it, but it's true. Here's Legions of Profitably Made, nearly 1,800 on WTW. Thank you, Tim Sykes, for the lessons on catalyst charts and level 2 shifts. Awesome. But the biggest props goes to my first millionaire student today, Michael Good, who just verified a $24,000 profit shorting EURI. You might remember the other day I congratulated Ivan, who's another one of my Trading Challenge students, who made nearly $10,000 shorting EURI. Both of them shorted it through Interactive Brokers. So again, people think that there's no shares to short or that only a special few people have shares to short. All you have to do is have the right brokers, okay? I can't help you if you have the wrong brokers, but Interactive Brokers, fantastic. And Michael Good now has 1.58 million in profits, and he's up. He actually just passed me this year. He's gonna beat me in 2015 unless he screws up tomorrow. He's up 206,000 this year. I'm up about 205,000. So that trade pulled him ahead of me, and that's fine. I got some messages. They're like, "How does it feel that Michael Good is beating you?" A lot of people are so immature, and you think that this is a competition of me versus you. We're all on the same team here, guys. We're all trying to make money from the stock market. I love it. I absolutely love it when traders make money, whether they're my student, whether they're not my student. It's all about how much can you make and how much can you learn and how safe can you trade. Because most people think that these stocks are impossible to trade. You shouldn't be trading penny stocks. So every single person who makes money just helps me prove my point that yes, if you study and you go in with a plan, you should be trading these stocks. And Michael Good has done a fantastic job, not just trading, but also teaching now too. Here is the Wolves of Wall Street. I love this guy. He was at my Vegas conference. He made $1,500 buying FXCM in the 19s and selling in the 20s. FXCM was actually a great short late day too, from 24 down to 18. So you have volatility both on the upside and the downside here. This is the latest supernova. So congrats to those of you who played it. I've been overwhelmed. I totally missed out on that. Again, I'm up, 200,000 this year on a small account, so don't feel too bad for me. But I'm just bringing you examples after examples. I love this one. I wanted to include this. Bulls Trader said, I made the best trade today, getting out safely. The bounce failed and I cut it right then and there. None of my other plays did what I wanted them to, so I'm on the sidelines today. Learning when not to trade is just as important as knowing when to trade. And I really like that because Bulls Trader said that midday, so he was dip buying EARS. This was another trade that I tried to do. Neither of us made much. EARS bounced a little bit, but not very much. And notice what he said. He says, so I'm on the sidelines today. Then he comes back to me another hour later and he says, Tim, played the textbook short into the bounce after the big spike that you show in your DVDs on FXCM. Got 2,500 short at 24.21, covered at 20.40, 5,600 profit, and I'm still holding 1,000 shares. Freaking awesome. Okay. That is the way to think. Look at that trade again. Just look at this. He makes 150 bucks and he says, you know what? I'm on the sidelines. And then he comes back and he waits for the setup to come to him. And Flock Stock was part of my webinar today. He said, thanks for the live trades. Good to know E-Trade screws up executions too, and it's not just Merrill. Definitely thinking E-Trade or IB. IB is more complicated. Hoping to use stocks to trade for everything but executions as most platforms suck. I couldn't have said it any better. Remember, we're trading penny stocks. There's such small money compared to the rest of finance, and Wall Street doesn't really care about us. There's not enough fees or commissions to be made off small traders. So they just don't give you quality stuff. Stocks to trade, my program that we've been working on the past few months, is going to revolutionize this because we're bringing top tier data and top tier programming to the penny stock market, which doesn't exist anywhere else. And again, if you're interested in the stocks to trade beta, send an email to admin@timothysykes.com. We will put you on the list. We can accept another 50 people to test out this program that we have built from scratch. We're no longer associated with equity fee because frankly, I wanted too much stuff, too much programming, too many details. And we're like, screw it. We're just going to build it ourselves. And it took a while, and I'll give you some demos in early January next year. But Stocks to Trade beta is ready. And then the last guy I want to talk about is Sunseeker00. Covered some more WNDW at 317. This is another pump that I've had on my list as a potential short for so long. It just kind of moves slowly. I know this looks like a crazy chart, but this takes several days and several weeks, and I've kind of had a crazy few days and weeks making money steadily, but I didn't have the patience to short this. I'm so glad that so many others did, from Mark Crook to Michael Good to Sunseeker, and many, many more. I think Tim Grattani was shorting this too. This is a classic pump. This follows my 7-step penny stocking framework. If you have not seen this DVD, where is it? This one right here. This is one of my Vegas conferences from a few years ago, but I unveiled a 7-step trading framework. And it's crazy how well it tracks this WNDW, this entire run up and now this entire run down. So if you haven't seen my penny stocking framework DVD, watch it. And I also got to give big props to trading tickers. Normally nearly $2,000, which is still a hell of a deal because Tim Grattani is the single most successful trader of the past 5 years. He's humble. He won't say it. I'm not as humble. I will say it. Nobody else has taken a few thousand and turned it into a few million in the past 5 years. I did this 15 years ago, but he has done it now in the past few years. So you owe it to yourself to watch this DVD. The Trader and Investor Summit DVD is now live, and it's over 15 hours. So all of these DVDs are 45, 55% off for the next 48 hours only. Get in the game, okay? You guys need to be better prepared. I'm calling out a lot of people, but there's a lot of people that I'm not calling out on this video. And all of you guys should see these patterns. It kills me when you don't see these patterns. For several days I've been saying AVXL is a classic number 6 pattern from my penny stocking framework DVD. You wouldn't believe how many messages I get from people saying, what is a number 6? And I'm like, have you seen the DVD? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, when I say it's a number 6 from this DVD and you don't watch the DVD, why do you think you'd understand it? Watch the damn DVD. That's all you have to do. You have to study. You don't have to come up with anything creative. Just warm up some soup or ramen noodles or have some Doritos. Sit your ass in front of a computer and watch the DVD and learn about these patterns. It's amazing how much they repeat. Anyways, guys, again, I will not be trading tomorrow because I have to let my funds just simmer down now. And I will be starting on, well, I guess January 1st is the market's closed, but I'll be starting in January 2016 with just 12,000. So I can't wait. I'll still be in the chat room giving commentary tomorrow, with stocks that I might trade, but take advantage of these sales on these DVDs and these newsletters. That's my main reason for teaching tonight. This is a late video lesson, but I want you to get this information and save money in your education. I'll see you in the chat room tomorrow.